wonderful subscribers. How are you doing today? Are you doing good? And especially if people are watching this in Florida, that I wonder if I have any subscribers in Florida. I hope you're all safe and hope you're all doing well in Hurricane Irma and people in Houston that I wonder if I have any subscribers in Houston and that was a few weeks ago. My bad. Um I hope y'all doing well after Hurricane Harvey and all that shit and whatever and I hope everybody's doing good and safe. So let's get started with this episode. So anyway, I just a while ago I seen the latest episode of Rick and Morty entitled the Ricklantis Express, aka Tales of the Citadel, which in fact Tales of the Citadel was supposed to be the original title of this episode, and at the last minute they changed it to Ricklantis Express, and subverting our expectations for the third time for this episode, it's actually the original title is the right one, and I gotta say this is the genius behind the creators of Rick and Morty. Some people might get pissed off about it, like the creators of The Soprano, who just intentionally left the ending out how as it is or whatever. But damn, they're so good at it because the season three premiered on April Fool's Day, only for like a couple of months later the actual season actually begins, and the Labor Day weekend. I mean, some people might be like, "Oh shit," they're lazy or whatever. But I just love it because they're just fucking with our expectations and they're just fucking with us and saying like, "Okay, we're doing all this crazy shit, but I swear it's gonna be worth it," and it totally is. I mean, every episode is not a letdown. I personally like every episode. There's some people that don't, but to each their own. But I feel like this episode really lives up to expectation, primarily because instead of a typical Rick and Morty episode like you've probably seen millions of times, where they go on some adventure and whatever, you basically basically in an episode of the Citadel. Basically, it inspires when Morty says like, "Oh, I wonder what's happening in the Citadel," because of like two essentially Rick and Morty personalities or whatever. It's confusing to explain to a non Rick and Morty fan, I guess. But essentially, it's like their alternate version of themselves from the Citadel, basically saying, "Would you like to donate money, blah blah blah, to repair the Citadel after that shit has happened?" And after kind of like a brief kind of back and forth and like, okay, you're that Rick who wanted it. Okay, never mind, let's just get out of your hair. It basically cuts to what's life like in the Citadel, and it feels so much like Pulp Fiction in the sense that it goes like cuts from different perspectives, like a mix of Pulp Fiction, Harry Potter, um, Stand by Me. I'm sure there's some more, but especially when bad cop good cop a segment like where the it's funny though because in that instance they show Morty as a fat, you know older Morty, like 40-year-old or whatever, and then they show Rick, I mean like the old man, like 70 years old, as a newbie, and of course as the episode goes on it like the roles gets reversed a little bit where like you know just Rick turns into a total badass who's like basically killing off his partner, not his Morty, but his partner, um, just whatever. And then it's just kind of like, what are you doing? I broke all these rules, and then basically all the Ricks in the police station is basically congratulating for it. Kind of like maybe might be a commentary on the policing, but then again, I don't feel like the creators are just into those like social commentary type shows or whatever. But then in the last episode they were talking about uh, um, mental health and the stigma behind the happiness industry. So perhaps also like I mentioned, Stand by Me, and it's funny because I didn't really catch the reference that they're referring to Stand by Me until halfway through the episode. Then I realized, oh wait, the four main characters basically resemble Stand by Me. There's the one with the glasses, there's the one that's fat, there's the one that's a badass, and there's the one basically the cripple. Or I'm not sure if it was a cripple in Stand by Me, but I remember the Family Guy version, and basically the alien version of Morty was the crippled version. Anyway, and yeah, so it feels like an amalgamation of just different references. Even they referenced Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Weirdly enough, I guess it kind of fits. And so yeah, there's so many different kind of allusions to it, and there's this one part where like basically the Rick in the Willy Wonka esque factory, he's basically stepping down for his position. So the Rick that's kind of like hoping to get it, he gets shunned, and then he just turns ballistic. He just like kills all the other Ricks. He gets like trapped in this one Rick that looked like from back in the season premiere of like Rick Shank Redemption, which basically kind of like the Rick that he bought the alien to whatever and visit his origin story or whatever, but it turns out to be just a fabricated mess. But basically, what I'm getting at, um, like it looked like they're kind of hinting at Rick's origin story and like before all this crazy shit had happened. And yeah, so it's just so interesting how like they completely subvert our expectations and just give us this episode and when that throwaway line from Morty at the beginning of the episode saying like what it's like life in the Citadel, and it's completely messed up because at first I was like what the hell is this, and then as the episode began to close it made more sense on what was going on. And what I really liked at the end of the episode, the Godfather-esque ending, kind of like that one of the Mortys is actually the president, and basically more or less saying that he's gonna flip the Citadel into the Morty's image. And like I was thinking about it when I was like prepping ideas for to make the video. It felt kind of interesting that the theory about the evil Morty. What if I was just thinking about it, what if that Morty that became president is evil Morty back in I forgot what episode it was, but it was like shit. It was basically where they're on the Citadel. I think it's somewhere in season two, but the one of the other indicators that gave me the impression that it was the evil Morty is the same exact song. When he took his eye patch off and then he hit that wire and smashed it. That was the same exact song that was playing at the end of this episode, so it feels more or less like a continuation. And another thing I was gonna mention, I like the way how it has continuity, especially from the beginning of this episode and this season, and especially in that episode as well. The continuation from or continuity from Rick Potion number 9, which at first when I seen that episode, I was like, I didn't get it, I was confused, and then sometime a little bit after that, I did see that episode, and I was just amazing how linked up the two episodes, and yeah, masterfully done. Yeah, so yeah, and I like the post credit scene. It just I think is one of the best, probably in this season because it's like Rick, like Morty's throwaway away line returns and saying like, I wonder what it's still like, and then Rick basically says it doesn't matter because it doesn't pertain to us, so why should we care? Something along those lines. And yeah, it's just this episode is pretty great. I like what happened in this episode, and like I said, I was just totally confused. I was hoping somewhere along the line that C-137, I think that's what it's called, would make some kind of cameo or make some kind of appearance. But the way the episode ended and from the post credit scene, it seemed like they actually did go to Atlantis, but us as the viewers, they sent us to the Citadel, which I really really like that plot twist. It's just so I mean, some people want to be like, "Oh shit, oh, that's fucked up," blah blah blah. But I like that because it kept us on our toes, and it's like instead of expecting what like a cookie cutter formula, just kind of like throw us throw us out of the loop and just totally like mess us up. So yeah, major props on that. That's pretty much it with a review on what I thought of the episode, and comment down below on comment down below on what you thought of the episode in general, and just kind of what you're looking forward to the future episode and seasons and whatever what's gonna happen or whatever. So yeah, I'm out like the Flash, and I'll see you with another video.